There's a lot going on at AT&T Stadium.
We turn our attention to the world of professional bull riding as the PBR holds its World Finals.
And it's a grueling season for these guys. They've got to compete all year long. Then they've got to go through eliminations. They've got to make it here.
Next competitor.
But this is what they have to live for.
Clay Guyton. There it is. Tip qualified ride of the night.
The sport of rodeo is about to take over.
He may have done enough. John Crimber showing us all yet again why he is the complete package.
The biggest weekend in Western sports.
Time to perk up and get Western.
How big is the biggest weekend in Western sports? Well, it's at 11 days, and that is going to include $3.26 million. It's PBR final season, and it is the first week on our way through next week and into the weekend. Next Sunday will be the crowning championship at AT&T, as we've got two big worlds coming together, the PBR as well as the Fort Worth Stockyards. Oh, yeah, we'll throw in the Cowboy Channel because this is the pre-show for round 3, and it's all live on the Cowboy Channel. I'm Justin McKee, and Colby Yates and Matt West on the end have been joining me for the last 2 nights for rounds 1 and 2 as we get ready for round number 3 on the pre-show. Two-time world champion Jess Lockwood drops in here to the Cowboy Channel studios. We're mighty proud to have you, and my goodness, if we can't have you on the back of a bull, we'd like to have you over here in the studios, and that's what we're going to get, so we're excited about it.
I'll take what I can. If I get to be alongside you guys, that's perfectly fine with me. Not as dangerous.
Yeah, it is. Well,
if Matt doesn't get too
most
mean.
of the time.
Hang
most
on
of
a
the
second.
time, yeah.
Could get kind of rowdy here.
2 rounds have already been under our belts, and what have you seen that highlights your opinion so far?
These young guys coming in and riding the way they have. You got Hudson Bolton, you got Clay Guyton, just winning round after round. You can't leave out John Crimber, Caden Loud the first night. It's been pretty cool to see the young guys coming up.
Colby, is this any surprise to anybody?
No, it's not a surprise at all. I'm surprised to see Jess. It's been a while. I mean, This is good. Good to see Jess back in town. But, no, these guys, man, they are so talented. And you got to add in the one kid that hasn't really done it yet, Ethan Winkler. He's part of that little crew that they've all grew up riding against each other, and they feed off of each other. So, we're going to see a lot more action from these young guys, but it's been pretty cool. I'm really excited to see Clay Guyton and where he's at because of his story, and last year making his first World Finals, missing those finals, and then coming in and winning the first 2 rounds. That's crazy.
Now, a big part of this pre-show will be about Clay, and your impressions so far?
It kind of reminds me of a couple of years ago. I remember this 18-year-old kid showing up at an event in Montana and absolutely stealing the show. He went on to win a couple of gold buckles. And, I think we're looking at a lot of those kind of caliber guys right now. Good news is they're all in the mix, and they're all doing well here at the finals.
All right, so we are in the middle of the elimination rounds. 4 of these rounds, and so far so good for John Crimber. He is 2 for 2, Colby.
Well, you can't beat this right here. This is John Crimber, and watch how good he is, how patient he is. This bull gets him off the inside of that spin. He just waits so patiently in the line of fire and gets this done with a big ride and another big round.
He was in the first place in round 1, second place last night. He's number 2 for the event title here. What do you see that you like, Jess?
It's just patience of Crimber. It's his second World Finals, and like he said, he came in last year and was kind of riding with some nerves. There's no nerves this year for John Crimber.
A lot of storylines for this guy, Matt and Hudson Bolton.
Yeah, I like everything about Hudson Bolton. To me, he's just so technically correct. Everything he does, there's no wasted motion. Hudson is locked in. He's riding some rank bulls this season, and I think that we're just seeing the very tip of the talent that this guy has. He's finally getting comfortable. It's taken him all season, but right now is a good time to be peaking when it matters the most.
Well, he's going to have to be patient moving in that top 10. He's not there yet, but the 19-year-old from Tennessee is number 20 in the world standings, number 2 for that Resist All rookie. And take a look at this guy.
Man,
he has been the star.
Big ride on Eyes on Me last night. This is a bull that he had ridden before, but he shows out in this round, and all eyes are on him because this kid is the cool kid in town.
How about Clay Guyton's 91 1/4, 19-year-old from North Carolina? He has been first in both the first 2 rounds. What do you think of that?
That's a lot of maturity in this kid's riding. He's showing so much maturity. He's just patient and shown no timidness in his riding. It's pretty incredible to see being his first finals.
Talk about that maturity. He went back and he realized, he's like, look, I'm fighting just to get into the top 15. I should be contending for a world title. And at a teenager to be able to come in and say, look, I've got the wherewithal to understand what kind of talent and ability I have. I need to pick up the pace. That's what he's done, and it's been fun to see.
If you're in the top 5 after tomorrow afternoon, you get an automatic AT&T trip for the next weekend, Colby.
Well, that's really important, especially when you look at guys like Clay Guyton, Hudson Bolton, Colton Hevelo, and Jose. Jose just got inside that top 15. Remember, the top 15 in the world standings after this elimination round move on too. So Hudson Bolton and Colton Hevelo trying to climb inside of that top 15.
You know, the fact of it is, Hudson Bolton is one that needs it the most because John Crimber and Clay Guyton likely to move into the championship round based on the world standings there in the top 5. They take the top 15 into next week. So all eyes on Hudson in terms of making sure he gets that next weekend. Probably rides another bull tonight. He makes it in. The meantime, pre-show for round number 3 of the PBR finals in the eliminations round will continue in just a moment. Welcome back to live coverage of the PBR World Finals on the Cowboy Channel as we are previewing round 3 coming up live here on the network a little bit later. Clay Guyton has been the story. He has won first place in both the first and second rounds, and he leads the event so far, moved into the top 5, and right now joins Haley Novak to talk about this amazing start to the PBR World Finals.
Well, as the rounds go by, the leaderboard continues to shake up. Last night, the round winner in round 2 was Clay Guyton and is now entered in the world champion race. Clay, when did that moment set in for you that you realized that you got a chance out there?
I think really last night, to be honest with you, when I got off and they said I bumped up the top 5 in the world, that's a pretty surreal feeling. That's what I've been chasing my whole life, so I'm ready to go get it.
Can you believe that something you've dreamed of your entire life is finally within your fingertips?
I just got to take it day by day, really. It's a sprint, not it's a marathon here, so just got to keep it rolling and try and win every day.
It'd be pretty difficult if you try to run a marathon like a sprint. You might get out of breath out here.
Yeah, I know it.
All right, let's talk about that bull ride last night. Obviously, won the round by a substantial amount. What'd you think about it?
Oh, that bull, I was excited to have him. I was pretty surprised he got left down in the draft as far as he did. I won my first event on him a couple weeks ago, so I was excited to get back on him last night, and it worked out again.
All right, why were you surprised that he was so far down?
They win a lot on that bull. They've won multiple events on him this year, and he's always a round winner, so I couldn't believe he went down to 7th pick.
No, and you're the only 90-point ride so far we've seen. What are you looking to carry over to tonight?
It'll be 90 again, hopefully.
All right, what do you have drawn?
Let's Roll, a bull of Brandon Stewart's I'm really excited about. I've been wanting him for a long time, and yeah, if I could have handpicked one, that'd probably been one of the ones I picked.
What would you handpick him about?
He's just good every time, honest. Kicks and spins, you're going to be high 80s on him and can place him around.
All right, high 80s, we can look forward to that. But Clay, this year, you've talked about a mindset change. At what point in the year did you decide to make that flip?
I think Albuquerque is when it all changed for me. I looked at that world standings and I was getting close to that cut line, and I told myself that I needed to be fighting for a world title, not a spot on tour. And yeah, I think ever since then I really changed my mindset, and it's been working out for me.
Right now, the top 4 is absolutely stacked. All of you guys definitely ride great and have a good chance at this World Championship deal. What are you thinking about the guys that you have to compete against before you grasp that goal?
Oh, those are all guys I look up to. You know, John's one of my good buddies too, and yeah, we push each other to be better. And yeah, you're not gonna be able to mess up much these next 2 weeks if you're gonna go win a world title.
What's that camaraderie like between you and John?
Oh, it's fun. You know, we have a lot of fun. We push each other. We talk a lot of crap to each other too, but all in all, we root for each other and hope each other does good.
Do you give him any pep talks, and does he do the same?
Oh yeah, for sure. You know, last year here I wasn't able to compete, so I was just here helping him, and yeah, I was supporting him, and this week he's been supporting me the same, even though we're competing against each other.
Last year, when you were sitting there on the sidelines having to watch out, what were you telling yourself to make sure that you made sure to capitalize on the spot you're in today?
I really just paid attention to everything last year. I feel like that was the first World Finals I'd ever attended, and I paid attention to a lot of stuff, so I feel like it prepared me pretty good for this year when I got here and was able to compete.
Was last year more meaningful, or this year to make your first World Finals qualification was last year, and of course this year your first year to ride?
Oh, I'm not sure. They both mean a lot to me. To be the top 35 guys in the world and make the PBR World Finals is what I've dreamed of since I was little bitty. So they both mean a lot to me, but yeah, it's fun to get to compete this year.
Take me back to little Clay. What were you dreaming about specifically at these moments that you'd soon to live?
Just what I did last night. Went around at the PBR World Finals and beat 90 points. You play that situation out in your backyard since you're 4 years old, so for it to finally happen, it means a lot to me.
How many bulls did you get on with that exact scenario? And you and John probably even too in the practice, but when you buck bulls, I'm sure you give each other that situation as well.
Oh yeah, for sure. Thousands and thousands of times. Me and John, when we get on bulls together in the practice pen, we have a lot of fun together. It's more of a competition, really, even though it's just practice. And like I said, we push each other to be better every day.
I love that it carries through into the arena. Congratulations last night, Clay. We can't wait to see what we get done tonight.
Thank y'all.
Clay Guyton, we'll see him in round number 3, looking to move up in the standings even further.
Colby, who's mentored him where we can see it at 19-year-old from North Carolina with so much maturity?
Well, I mean, you look at guys from North Carolina like Jerome Davis and J.B. Mooney. I mean, he's been around some of the best that have ever been. You know, it's pretty cool to see a young kid come in and do, have this success.
What about that bull they were talking about that he's got in round 3 tonight?
You know, I don't really know that bull from Brandon Stewart, but if Clay Guyton that's on a roll at the World Finals says he couldn't have handpicked one better, I like his chances in this scenario.
Yeah, let me tell you, this is the one that he was going to handpick right here. This is eyes on me from last night, but Let's Roll Brandon Stewart's is a great bull. Should turn back into his hand. And Clay Guyton, as you said, I feel like he's got a little red-headed rabbit's foot in his pocket because he's drawing bulls like that, but he's also showing his talent. He's getting it done.
I'm going to jump in here because you said turns back into his hand like it matters. We just watched him go both directions. That bull tried to do a front flip. It doesn't really matter at this point what you put underneath Clay Guyton. This kid is on fire, just like his hair.
Spurred one away from his hand.
Yeah.
And look good doing it right there. Getting ready to jump into that top 10. Remember the top 15. Very important because those will automatically move on to the championship round at AT&T Stadium. And here we go. Matt West, you said that those top 2 guys coming in here a couple of nights ago were untouchable.
Yeah, and I didn't mention 3 and 4, however, because it looks like Clay Guyton is reaching forward and trying to get inside that top 4. You know what? John Crimber making some moves. He's trying to catch those first couple of guys before we get to AT&T Stadium. Still a pretty good point differential, but there's so many points out on the line. Again, Clay Guyton's the guy that really impresses me right now. He's jumped from outside of the top 10 to number 5. He is 547 points away from that number 1 spot. it is a point where anything could happen.
One of the reasons this thing is tightened up is because the top two guys with Castle and Fielder have yet to ride a bull in the first 2 rounds. Jess, what's going on here?
I would have lost the ranch if you would have told me that a few days ago. Dalton just lost his hand that first night, which is so beyond belief. And then Brady, you thought he had this one knocked out and just kind of got a little too comfortable, just as he did last night. And as this bull top dollar goes into Dalton's hand, I thought he had it knocked out of the park, and just, I don't know if the jitters are getting to him a little bit or that new bull rope he's using, but they got to get their riding pants on.
Colby, typically, how do these two guys respond to consecutive buck-offs when they should have rode?
Well, they respond with a ride, and I think you're going to see that tonight from both of these guys. You know, I think Dalton Castle's dealing with a little bit of a knee injury, but there's nobody in this game tougher than him. I guarantee he's going to come out firing on all the cylinders. And Brady Fielder, you know, typically Brady Fielder's timing is so on point and his technique is so on point that these things don't happen. I feel like he brushes it off. He's got a great draw tonight, and he gets it done.
Little piece of advice. I know I'm not the one that's ever put my hand in a bull rope, okay? But a little piece of advice for Dalton Castle. Show up in sweatpants tonight because you need to be as relaxed as possible. When he shows up in the locker room and he looks like he just crawled out of bed, that is when he's the most dangerous. And I hope he comes in sweatpants and flip-flops and pajamas. That's the Dalton Castle I want to see tonight. Relax a little bit, get rid of that emotion, and go win the round.
Okay, I hope our production team has taken that note down so we have cameras ready to see how he comes into the locker room tonight. It's something we can look forward to, including more on the pre-show for round 3 in just a moment. Well, there's a lot of Cowboys that would love to have their name on that trophy that says PBR World Champion 2025, as we are looking at that man who has still stolen the show for the first 2 go-arounds as we continue with the pre-show, getting ready at the top of the hour to take you back over to the Cowtown Coliseum for round number 3. And remember, tomorrow afternoon we'll have round 4 before we take a break for the ladies to move into Cowtown for Monday and Tuesday. Let's talk about the injuries last night. Last night, Sage Kimsey, wow, what a shot, and was knocked out in the arena for a bit.
Scary moments for everybody involved and everybody around the world watching at home. You can see, obviously, the fear on everybody's face behind the scenes. He was in the arena for quite some time. Positive note coming out. Matter of fact, just a few minutes ago, PBR on social media, they posted that Sage Kimsey has been released to compete tonight. And so we are looking for the bounce back of the legendary 7-time PRCA world champ who left after all of that. He had a little grin on his face, and that is the Sage Kimzey that we all know and love. So looking forward to seeing him back in action here tonight.
Yeah, no surprise, really, that he got up, even though we were kind of surprised, but then it's Sage.
No surprise, but when you're watching in person, it was a pretty sketchy moment, really scary for a lot of fans, and especially, his close compadres right next to him, these bull riders that, were just going to prayer. That's all you can do at that moment in time. But, man, glad to see him get out, and really glad to see him pass the concussion protocol because it's a lot harder than it used to be.
Really excited to see his matchup tonight, too, because it could not have been set up better.
Yeah, more on that later. Right now, let's get into the bubble watch right now. You think the World Championship race is tight? This bubble to be in the top 15 to move on to next weekend is even tighter.
Yeah, listen, this is getting really exciting to watch. I mean, it's not really exciting for guys like Kayaki Pacheco, Lucas Divino, Leonardo DiCastro, because these other guys that are coming in that are really hot right now inside of these standings, Jose Vitor-Lemi broke that 15, Caden Loud broke that 15, and then you're going to have guys like Hudson Bolton that are making big moves to get up in there.
Speaking of the two-time world champion, Josie, he's got a great matchup, and he's number 5 on 2. He's got both of his bulls knocked out here, Jess, and he's going up against this triple-lot.
Kind of goes back to what Clay was saying. If he could have handpicked a bull, he couldn't have handpicked one better. That's what I feel like with Jose and triple-lot. This bull, in a team season scenario, Jose on this bull every single time, 88 points.
Okay, here comes Hudson Bolton again, talking about his bull. He's going up against Rip. Remember, Hudson Bolton, the 19-year-old from Tennessee, is number 20 in the world. He's got 2 down.
Well, and Rip is a bull that they struggle with a little bit. I mean, this bull has a little bit more outside momentum, turns back to the left into his hand, a lot like what you just saw right there with Hudson Bolton, but he's going to have a little bit more outside, so Hudson's going to have to get his weight shifted over there just a little bit more this time, but I think it could be big points.
And Hudson is a rookie. Matt, he made a big jump.
Yeah, he jumped ahead of Elismar Jeremias, and the number 1 guy in front of him, Anderson De Oliveira, has been dealing with some injuries. Hudson Bolton has set his sights on that Rookie of the Year title, and he has got a fire behind him. Pushing him tonight, I think, is one step closer.
Yeah, could be number 1 with a ride tonight, and that could get him a lot of points. But you're right, 3 out of 4 bulls, by the way. He's going to get a lot of points there, too. And let's take a look at the broadcast schedule. Next week, we're going to let the ladies come in with the Women's Rodeo World Championship Monday, Tuesday here on the Cowboy Channel. Wednesday, back to PBR action. That's the Ride to Redemption. Round 1 Thursday is round 2. Last chance for a lot of guys to finish in the top 5 to move on to AT&T. So a lot going on here in Cowtown. And on the Cowboy Channel, again, not just the pre-show is live here on the Cowboy Channel. Round 3 will follow in just a few moments. But we'll come back with more information concerning that round 3 in just a second. Hey, tomorrow here on the Cowboy Channel, Elimination round number 4 starts earlier tomorrow. It's an afternoon matinee. Pre-show will begin at 1:30 Central Time with the big event coming on at 2 o'clock. So there you have it. Elimination round number 4. We're going to find out who is moving on in the top 5, and we'll have a pretty good idea what that top 15 looks like, and a whole lot more after tomorrow. Right now, we're going to talk about some of the key matchups going to the competition, and wouldn't it be something if Sage Kimzey could not only come back, but ride, and you think he's got the bull to do it?
Oh, he's got everything to do it. He's got the talent, he's got the skills, he's got the bull for sure. Snapchatter's this is a rematch. He's rode this bull before. He was 90.5 on him. Should turn back right in the gate into his hands. Got a lot of speed. The judges love him. Mark him a lot of points. Sage Kimzey should ride this bull all day long.
Jess, what's he got to do to maintain that 8 seconds?
You just got to do what Sage Kimzey does. This guy's so mature, and he's so professional about the way he rides bulls. Technically, he's the best rider out there.
Matt, he's number 4 in the world standings. Could he go all the way?
Absolutely. He told me earlier this week, he said pressure makes some men break, and it makes others break records. That's the Sage Kimzey we've known and loved for over a decade now. That's the Sage Kimzey that shows up tonight. Look out.
All right, Dalton Castle, number 1 in the world, yet to ride a bull in the first 2 rounds. Round 3 looks favorable.
Look, I think this is his chance right here. This is going to be his night. I saw him today, talked to him, looks good, feeling good. And this is a bull tonight that he has the cracking. Black Bull should turn back to the left, right into his hand. And Dalton Castle should eat this bull up all day long. Should be about high 80s, could be low 90s.
Let me tell you something. All the negative talk about Dalton Castle after 2 rounds of competition, it ends right here, right now, because from this point forward, he's back to being the number 1 ranked bull rider in the world, back on the quest of a gold buckle. Tonight is a different story for Dalton Castle.
And a different story for John Crimber. He may have the toughest bull out there.
Yeah, I think, this is the opportunity where the door is open for a guy like Brady Fielder or a guy like Dalton Castle. Let me go ahead and get in here and get this, because this is what I came here to do. And John Crimber has one of the hardest bulls in Rorschach, the bull that turns back away from his hand, and he should pose John a few problems. But John has been riding on top of his game that he could prove me wrong here and just get it done.
Real quick, one thing he's got to do right tonight on that bull.
I think he's got the confidence after winning these first couple rounds. Just stay to the front. John can get sat down a little bit in his riding, but as long as he stays to the front like he has these first 2 rounds, I don't think he's going to get bucked off anything.
All right, well, that is a wrap. Getting ready for opening ceremonies and round number 3 next door to Cowtown Coliseum, live on the Cowboy Channel. We'll see you in a bit.